One thing I was thinking about somewhat recently, and I don't have this thought fully thought out or anything. It's just kind of a passing thought, but and I don't even know if I fully agree with it, but I think there's something to it, which is, I know that I recently said speed matters more than your actual drawing skill. But I think what matters more than any of that, potentially, is either it's kind of hard to fully define, but I would call it either optimism or delusion, or some mix of the two. And that's even after, it's especially important in the beginning of, let's say an art career or a business or anything you're starting and you're trying to take it somewhere. Not even that. Maybe you're just trying to learn how to bake, or you just whatever. You're in the beginning stages of something. But even after you've, as they say, make it, I think it still matters a lot. Part of what kind of spawned this idea is, and it's not the most original idea. It's just something I was thinking about. But I think I was thinking about like the earlier stages of me trying to make it in comics, and this kind of goes to a side topic, but it all ties together, which is, this is mainly like a comic book / art channel. I don't necessarily want to define it, but when it comes to you being an artist and other people, I think if you're to ask me, don't tell anyone that you're an artist. Just don't tell them. Especially if you take it seriously and you're trying to make a living out of it. In my experience, it's not worth it at all. Unless, you're just, I don't know, you're a sociopath and nothing affects you, words don't faze you, I don't know. But if you're like 99% of us, just don't even waste your breath. Don't even, literally, just keep it to yourself as much as you can. That's my opinion. I don't want to go too deep into this part of it, but, that might even have to be a video of its own, to be honest. But, no one's going to respect it. No one's going to get it. Everyone views it as a hobby or some waste of time. They really only start respecting it somewhat when you start making money from it. That's the only time that some people start thinking of it as acceptable. That's the only time that it's a useful way to spend your time. And so going back to the main topic with this whole, optimism delusion thing, the last thing you need is somebody shitting on the thing you're trying to do. You know what I mean? And you could try to ignore it all you want, but it doesn't help. Let's be real. We've all had these experiences. But again, I'm not going to go too deep into that. My point is, you need to hold on to basically hope. And I'm not even kidding. Like, it really, really goes a long way, especially in the early phases of it, because essentially everything seems hopeless. You're doing something that is discouraged, right? You're doing something that is odd, essentially. You're doing something, not in a bad way, but it's just not the norm. So that alone, that's part of what the criticism will be, or the questioning will be. But let's say, just take comic books for instance. It's basically what it always felt like to me, and it still somewhat feels like that, to be honest. It feels like you are by yourself and you're on the outside of this big castle with no doors. There's windows, but they're way, way up. You can barely even see them. You're just shouting up there, trying to get someone's attention. Every once in a blue moon, someone might kind of notice you, and then they just vanish. And then months go by before you even see any form of human life in that castle. But in that castle, that's where things are happening. You know that, maybe over the walls of the castle, you can hear some celebration happening. And you're just on the outside. You're capable of what's going on in there, but you can't even see an opening. There's no door. It is hopeless. And you are walking around the perimeter of this castle. You've probably circled it 1,000 times. Not a door in sight. Yet, people seem to be making their way in. Right? So, but here's the thing. If you just keep going, there are always these little breadcrumbs of hope. There are these little breadcrumbs of, oh, wait a second, maybe I'm not completely insane. I could have swore I saw someone make their way in the castle. I haven't even stepped a foot in there, but I know it's possible. It's got to be. There's tons of people in there, right? So I just think another thing, not to give it too much attention, and who cares anyway, but a commenter, this is, some of the comments kind of give me topics where they kind of help with the overall topic I'm talking about. But someone said something along the lines of, I forget which video it was. They basically said something to do with, it was the competition thing. They were basically saying that artists who make a living from their work, that's a privilege, and very few get that chance, basically. And you need people to care about your art enough to buy it, which 100% that's true. That I'm not denying that. But the thing is, if everyone had that mentality, no one would ever make it. If way back, like I kind of started seriously trying to do this stuff back in, I want to say it was 2012-ish, something like that. And I mean, the seriousness picked up as the years went on, but I went years with nothing happening. The only little breadcrumb of success might have been another writer kind of like at my skill level would be, hey, you want to do a pitch to a publisher? I've got this idea, you draw, we'll do like 5 pages of a comic, submit it, maybe we'll get published. And just about all of those failed. But it's something, even back then, that is something to make you believe, okay, I've got something. This other person thinks I've got something of value. When it's just you alone in a room drawing things, thinking maybe you can be, an established artist one day, that little bit of a thing goes a long way. Trust me. I'm sure I'm not the only one who gets that. But back to that comment, it is a privilege. It is, no one is owed an art career. No one is owed any of this. I completely agree. But the other thing was, I think he was saying, or my response was something along the lines of, you have to make people care about your work. And he just said something about, how do you make people buy stuff that they don't want? And I'm like, well, I didn't say that. The point is, you have to, if you were way back in that beginning stage of the game and everyone thought that way, then you would just give up. You would just stop right there. Oh, no one cares? Okay, I guess I'll stop now. No, you have to keep going, and it seems insane. That goes back to my original point. You need some level of hope, optimism, and delusion all wrapped up into one, and just keep it to yourself, because no one's going to get it. You're going to seem insane, but along the way, hopefully little things start happening. That first thing I talked about with the writer, that's like one little tiny thing, but it's a sign of something. And then hopefully you'll get to the point where, all right, I've got the first thing published, or I don't know, whatever the equivalent of that is in the field you're in. Sometimes all it takes is one person. Like maybe you do paintings and you worked really hard on this one painting. It took months or whatever, and you're trying to sell it. It seems hopeless. Like it just seems, you feel worthless. You feel no one wants this. Why did I even do that? Why am I even, they were right. All the people were right who said, this is a dumb hobby. This is a dumb whatever. And then one person comes along and they want it and they're willing to buy it. And that completely changes your whole attitude, your whole outlook. Or maybe you're working on this comic pitch. Maybe you did a whole issue. Maybe you did a whole series and you want to get it published. You want it in comic shops. Again, it seems beyond hopeless. It's you feel like you're just in the desert and there's no water in sight. You're by yourself. Your legs are just about to fall off. And then one person might see the thing that you made and yeah, we'll give that a chance, because you just didn't stop. And I know some naysayers will come along and say, oh, well, that's this or that. I don't know. That's just luck. And yeah, maybe it is luck. And that kind of goes to a new point, which it's kind of related to this. Luck is a huge factor. It is. But you have to, if you just give up from the beginning or some early phase, then how does luck even happen, And I mean, this is a huge topic of its own. People have different outlooks on it. Make of it what you will, but you do have to work hard. You do have to, if you're never trying, you're never, or an opportunity comes along or luck happens, you just so happen to be in the right time, right place. That can be, there are many different examples of that. If you can't do the thing they're requesting you to do, well, yeah, it's meaningless. You can't do it. But if you didn't have optimism, or you also have to have it with your actual craft, I think. The thing that you do. You have to believe that you can get better. You have to believe that, you get some assignment. A logical person, a completely logical person, or, a sound-minded person might say, oh, that's scary. That's, I can't handle that. That's, who am I to think that I can even, I don't deserve that. I'm not good enough for that. You have to you need to hold on to some piece of delusion. You need to hold on to some piece of, you know what, maybe I'm not that good now, but I can be. There's really something to that. No matter what, you have to I'm going to figure it out. I'm capable of this. Another thing, somewhat related, maybe, in my opinion, you can't have a plan B. Again, just my opinion, but I always thought this is going to happen. Like, sure, if it's not working out or things fall through, there's always a way to make it work. Meaning, stuff stops happening. I'm not getting any opportunities. People stop buying stuff. Okay, well, I'll figure something out for now. I'll be a garbage man. I'll be a janitor. I'll go be a waiter. I'll do anything. Like, just because it's not working now doesn't mean it won't be working in a few months or something happens. That's why you cannot be, I'm not saying I never get down. I never lose hope, or trust me, this stuff gets dark. This is not, you're doing something crazy. You're thinking you're going to survive on your creations. That's pretty crazy. But you also, in my opinion, you have to a little bit think it's never over. Like, that's always been a little bit my mindset. Like, even if it's looking bad or it's not, things aren't working out, well, it's going to work out. It's going to eventually. I'm going to figure it out. It's just like a mindset. If you have that mindset of, oh, well, it's just the lucky people. It's just, you gotta, only a few artists will ever, well, how do you think they got there? You think they just got handed, nothing for the most part is handed out when it comes to this stuff. Yes, of course, there are examples of it, but by and large, when it comes to creative careers, I guess, you probably had to work really hard. You probably had to, and that can involve different things: meeting the right people, working on your craft, getting your work out there, marketing. What do you think marketing is? What do you think promoting is? People do this for a reason. It's not just everything just falls in your lap and they're the lucky chosen ones. No, you have to do more than that. And if you have the attitude that, well, that's not for me, only, you're lucky. I am lucky, but it's not just luck. Kind of running out of time for this video, but I kind of had some other points. Maybe I'll have to make another video. I guess I just mentioned them. And I mean, who knows if any of this is making sense, but pretty much another thing, not only don't tell people that what you're doing, if they ask you, maybe you're in that mid stage of, this is like a really mini topic, but maybe you're in that mid stage of somewhat doing your own business and you're a cashier on the side or something. just if people ask you, just say, oh, I just sell stuff on eBay. I just sell stuff online. I go to garage sales and I just sell stuff. And most people don't actually care that much anyway. So that's a good, just do that. Something like that. But if you bring up, oh, I'm an artist, it turns into a whole thing. So that wasn't even a point I meant to get to. But yeah, I don't really have time for the rest of it. So, I mean, at the end of the day, just do what suits you best. And you got to be, like, delusion might be what matters more than anything, because it's going to carry you all the way. If you lose that, you just won't have what it takes to carry on. You have to have the right outlook. And like I said, it's not like you're always going to have that, but you can't completely lose it. So, I mean, let me know what you think. Maybe this is my craziest video yet. I don't know what of these topics, how they come off. I'm just talking. It's just my opinion. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think.